on?
Yes.
Right. My name is Holly Williams, and this is Margaret Tarrant, my EIP collab teacher, and we work at Anderson Elementary, and I'm the first grade teacher. And today my students did a state performance task on measurement, which would hold more. So the children were given various objects, and they were given either a scoop or a cup, a measuring cup, and they were given rice or beans, and they had to measure how much would be held in an object. But before they started, I gave them their graphic organizer, and I showed them an example. I picked up one object, the soup bowl or something, and I told them first you need to look at it and estimate, and asked them what they thought estimation was, and they said guess. I said estimate how much it will take for you to fill your bowl with whatever materials in front of you. Either you have a scoop with rice or a scoop with beans. And then I told them then you would fill it and count, and you would take turns with your partner and you'd fill it out on your graphic organizer. And then I just kind of let them go and figure out what they did, and we circulated the room. And as we were doing it, I mean, some students needed help and we got them back on track, but we asked a lot of questions about what they're doing. Why is it taking more for the scoop to fill it than the cup? Why is it taking more rice to fill it than the beans? What do you notice about your estimation and your guess? Because a lot of times I find that the kids will guess a very out there number, and then they realize that it only takes like 3.
Right. Like one of the students that I was working with today did that. He had really large guesses. But whenever he measured the actual measurement, the numbers were a lot smaller. So I asked him, could he compare the two numbers, what happened with the guesses, and then he said, well, the guesses were a lot bigger and the real answer was a lot smaller. So that was one of the things that he wrote at the end of the lesson.
And as they got through their lesson, they didn't necessarily rotate through the stations. I kind of handed off the stuff, and I mean, it's 24 6-year-olds. It was loud, and there were beans and rice everywhere, but that's part of learning. They need to go in on their own and hands-on approach to teaching. And when we got done, I made them go down to the carpet with their graphic organizer, and I asked them a series of questions. What did they notice about their estimation versus their actual guess? Some of them were a lot higher than the others, so I made them subtract to see the difference. I tried to tie in various things that we've learned in math throughout the year, and when they were done, I sent them back to their seat, and they had to write about their experience, about what they did.
And you know what, I really like the way you had so many great questions, and you even tied in the lesson from the day before on weight and how weight was different from how much it would hold.
Right.
And then tell us about the part where you had them writing. That was great.
So when they wrote, I told them that, you know, just tell me what you did. Tell me why you were measuring things, how you were measuring it, what you used, and what you discovered. And as they were writing, I went around the room and asked them. Some were getting confused with yesterday's lesson to today, so we had to go back from lighter and heavier to which one would hold more or less. And then when we were time for lunch, I had, you know, I called on certain people just to read it out loud. And surprisingly, they knew exactly what they were talking about. They didn't need much direction. And at the end, I went back and asked the bigger picture, why did we do this today? And I called on one student, and he said, because we needed to see how much these objects would hold. And yesterday, another child said, you know, lighter or heavier. So then tomorrow we'll just tie them both in. How much something will hold, and how does that make it heavier than the other thing?
And I could really tell that the kids were engaged the whole time, and they were really thinking as they were talking, measuring, and writing. And I was just so pleased with your lesson. Thank you for sharing. And from Anderson Elementary, first grade. Nice job.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.